What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Nasty Podcast. Hopefully, you guys are doing all right during your quarantine or shutdown. If you're like me, living in Boston or Rhode Island, I know there's a couple other places going through the same thing. There ain't really much to do. We can't go out, we can't go do anything. Stuck in the house, kind of boring, you know what I mean? So, I've kind of been taking some time going into some streaming apps, seeing what's out there. And I just stumbled upon, the Boomerang app, watching a lot of old cartoons from my childhood, you know what I mean? That's a really fun thing to do. I think right now is a good time to do that, especially delving into having a lot of free time. It's a good space to get into, bring back some old memories and stuff like that. And today, on this episode, I want to bring you guys another fictional battle between two titans in the fictional character universe. And we've done this before, actually. One of our earlier episodes was dedicated to Superman versus Goku, basically at a time when I was really diving into those kinds of fights and stuff like that. But today we're not going to talk about superheroes or comic books or anime, anything like that. No, 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 no. But at the same time, I know you guys are going to recognize both of these characters. Probably have so much love and respect and adoration for both of them. Today I want to talk about Mickey Mouse versus Bugs Bunny. That's right. We're about to have a clash of the titans. I don't know if it's necessarily David versus Goliath, but it's going to be a huge matchup right now. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I love both of these guys. I grew up with both, and everyone might have their own favorite or whatever, but we just talk about like some of the differences, similarities, things they have in common, and who we maybe think is better. Like I said, I've had more free time on my hands, so I've been checking out the Boomerang streaming app, and I would definitely recommend it. Like, it's only $4.99 a month, and you get a lot of the old school stuff. Boomerang has always been known for that retro kind of catalog. Scooby-Doo, Yogi Bear, you know what I'm saying? Like the Jetsons, Flintstones, a lot of stuff like that. They got a few newer things too, like Codename Kids Next Door, Courage, like all those shows are dope. But another big one is Looney Tunes, you know what I mean? Like, who doesn't love the Looney Tunes? I've been watching a lot of the Looney Tunes show, which is like a newer rendition. We'll talk a little bit more about that one towards the end of this episode. But even the old shorts, like I remember a lot of those. One of my favorites is Duck Amuck, when Daffy's like basically fighting against the animator who's like drawing stuff but putting him through a bunch of like bullshit. You know what I mean? And then by the end, it's obviously Bugs Bunny. That's the animator, because of course, you know what I mean? But like I said, I love both Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny. You know what I mean? I grew up on stuff like Space Jam. You know what I mean? Loved seeing them with MJ. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, getting to see them both. You know what I mean? Mickey Mouse, when I was like a young kid, was like one of my icons. You know what I'm saying? Like, even to this day, I still love Mickey Mouse. I love Disney. You know what I mean? Both of these guys are the faces of their respective companies. Bugs being for Warner Brothers and Mickey obviously being for Disney. And it's a little bit debatable if you talk about like the company and how big each of those have gotten. And these are multi-billion dollar companies, so to compare them is a little bit futile. But I would probably say Disney's probably reached a little bit of a higher scope than Warner Brothers, especially now having recently bought stuff like Fox. But strictly talking for the characters, I would probably have to say I like Bugs better. I think he's a little bit more funny. He's more violent, obviously. Like, he gets into more antics. It's a little bit more crazier, the things he goes through. And I think that's really the big difference between the two characters. The most obvious one anyway is that while Bugs is more dedicated to teens and more aimed at like adults and an older group of kids, Mickey has always really been for younger kids. You know what I mean? Even to this day, Mickey Mouse still remains to be put out towards to be for kids, and he's aimed at like a younger demographic. You know what I mean? Whether we're talking like toddlers or like, kids like 7 through 10 maybe. They got stuff like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, which is like one of the more recent Mickey Mouse iterations. They have new shorts as well that we'll talk about in a sec, uh, which I guess are kind of going back to their traditional form. That's where both these characters basically started, was in old shorts. Mickey came back in 1928, Bugs around the 1940s. So obviously Mickey predates Bugs, and that was one of the differences. Again, like Bugs was kind of building on the establishment that Mickey and Disney had already created in cartoons and shorts, which were more like a happy, and Mickey kind of solves problems. He goes through the episode or the short, and whatever, if it's a villain, if it's something he has to deal with, he fixes that problem. Where Bugs in his cartoons and Looney Tunes, he is the problem more often than not. He is the guy causing trouble and raising hell for the other characters. You know what I mean? The Looney Tunes cast is also bigger. If we're really talking like the main cast, you know what I mean? You got Sylvester and Tweety, Daffy, Porky Pig, you know what I mean, Foghorn Leghorn. The list goes on. Peppa Le Pew. Like there's mad people in Looney Tunes. And Mickey, in Mickey's universe, you kind of just have the main supporting cast: Donald Duck, Minnie Mouse, Goofy, you know what I mean, Pluto, and all those characters are iconic as well. But they more or less just live in Mickey's world. That's the way I kind of look at it. Like Donald and Goofy just live in Mickey's world. They're not really off doing their own thing. And don't get me wrong, like I love stuff like Goof Troop, the Goofy movie, stuff like that is dope. DuckTales, all that was dope where it was kind of separate. But a bigger picture, like those characters kind of just exist within Mickey's town and Mickey's whatever's going on with him. Like with Looney Tunes, you have a much more versatile cast of characters. Like I said, you got Sylvester and Tweety on the side. You got Daffy, where they went and did the whole the Duck Dodgers thing. Baby Looney Tunes, like one of the shows that I've been watching on the streaming app recently is the Looney Tunes show, and that came out around 2013, I want to say. So it's newer, but it's a very different take on Looney Tunes. It's like a sitcom. It is what it is. It's a sitcom. It's like the characters are set in a modern environment, modern situations. Bugs and Daffy are living together. People like Porky and Yosemite Sam are their neighbors or live in the town. Lola Bunny's his girlfriend. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And they kind of just get into the same wacky antics, but it's much more adult. The jokes are much more sophisticated, smarter. There's not a lot of stuff still out like that, in my opinion. Like, a lot of cartoons are just brainless, borderline. You know what I mean? Like, and that's to say that the animated short has kind of been lost recently. In the past years, the animated short as an art form has really been gone, but that's what paved the way to all the cartoons we had growing up. You know what I mean? Looney Tunes and Mickey. And like I mentioned earlier, Disney has kind of revived that aspect with the new Mickey Mouse that they've been putting out. And it's okay. I've seen a few of them. They're not bad at all. Looney Tunes is also going to be coming out with a new package of shorts and cartoons more along the lines of what Looney Tunes used to be back in the day, like back when it was traditionally created. So I'm kind of excited for that. Like I still love those, but I would really love to see one just like the Looney Tunes show, like one that is much more adult and much more in a modern setting with that kind of tone. It's still funny. Like that show's hilarious. Like after I do this episode, I'm probably gonna go watch that right now. You know what I'm saying? Like get right, get turned, get lit, throw that on something funny. And like I think shows that kind of can grasp that still that wackiness that still holds true to the property itself while still reinventing the brand and reinventing the franchise. Those are the ones that are successful when we're talking these cartoons that seem to come back and never really go away and withstand the test of time. And Looney Tunes is definitely no different than that, as well as Mickey Mouse. But I guess we gotta say, at the end of the day, Bugs Bunny takes this dub. He's the victor. At least in my opinion. I did a short poll online. A lot of people mostly said Bugs Bunny. It was definitely more favored in his end, and I'm not surprised by that. My generation definitely had much more of an influx of Looney Tunes than we did Mickey Mouse. I mean, we had like Back in Action and stuff like that. Those movies didn't really do well either, but they always are gonna hold a place in my heart. And to this day, like I can still throw that on. Um, and again, Mickey kind of he remains to be for a younger crowd and for the kids, and he'll always be an American icon, and we all love him even as adults. You know what I mean? But that's gonna do it for this episode. Let me know who you think is better, Bugs, Mickey. You know what I mean? What are some of your favorite memories with both of these characters? 'Cause I know we both are fond of all of them. Or who is your favorite character from the world? And who are some characters you want to see us compare? Like I said, we've all got a lot of time on our hands right now. So let's get to it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for appreciating and supporting everything I do. I appreciate it. You guys know I always let you know that. So stay tuned for more and stay safe, stay healthy. You know what I mean? Coronavirus is hopefully we'll be through this soon, guys. That's all I can say. But peace out.